So we all know that Synfig Studio is an animation software, but did you know that it can also be used for graphic design? So today we'll be taking a break from animation and I will be showing you how you can create a movie poster using Synfig Studios. Here is the poster that we'll be using as our inspiration, and the reason why I chose this poster is because I think it's simple, I like the layout, and it has a whole bunch of elements that I think will be useful for this tutorial. So obviously we won't be using the same name, and we'll be getting our own images because we don't have access to these images that they used. I'm sure we could probably search for them online, but we'll just be doing our own thing. You know, in reality, bad is bad. So we're going to go with maybe good boys or good guys or something along those lines. Anyway, let's jump into Synfig Studios and begin. Here we are in Synfig Studio. Now the very first thing that I want to do is to change the workspace to give us a more graphic design layout. And to do that, I'm just going to remove all the panels or windows that I don't want and leave the ones that I do want. So I am going to start with this one right here, which is our keyframe properties here. And I'm just going to right click that and click on close because I do not need that. And I'm going to left click on the icon here and drag this out. And if I should release, we now have a floating window here. And I'm going to put this one over here. So I'm just going to left click on the icon again and just drag it all the way here and just release and place it there. Also, I'm going to continue removing these by just right clicking the icon, close, right clicking, close. I think we might need this one, so I'm just going to left click, drag it, and I'm going to place it down here. And we only release once we see the green outline around it, so we can release and it gets placed there. Also, if you wanted to change its location, you could just left click and drag and over the other icon to change its location if you wanted to. All right. So I'm just going to right click this, close, right click, close, and let me left click and drag this over here, left click and drag this over here, and I'm just going to switch this to the navigator here and just bring this down a bit. And I think this looks more like a graphic design workspace. Now the final thing that you need to do is to save your workspace, and to do that just go to Window, Workspace, Save Workspace. And I am going to call this graphic design because I think that makes sense, right? So graphic design and click OK. So now we have our workspace set up. The next thing that I'm going to do, which isn't a part of this tutorial, I'm going to be changing the icons to my very own icons. So it's something that I'm working on. It's not completed yet, so it's not released, but you don't have to worry. It won't affect the tutorial. All it will do is just to change the overall look of the icons here. So I'm just going to go to Edit, Preferences, and change this from Classic to the one that I'm working on. Click on OK. Now again, you won't have access to this, but it won't affect the tutorial in any way, shape, or form. I just think it looks more cool, so I'm going to be working with these icons. Let's now set up our canvas space here. So for this, I'll be working with a width of 819 by a height of 1024. So I'm just going to go to Canvas, Properties, and I'm going to click on the unlink icon here. And for width, let's type 819 by height 1024. Now this is not specific to a movie poster. This is just chosen by random, but you can use whatever you want. For the sake of this tutorial, this is what we'll be working with. So I'm going to click on Apply to apply it and click on OK. And now our canvas is all set up. Now if we go over to our navigator here and I left click and drag, we're able to rotate or move around our canvas area. And if we left click and drag this icon to the left, we're able to zoom out, and if we drag it to the right, we're able to zoom in like so. And this icon here is called the zoom to fit. So if we click on this, we're able to fit our canvas within the workspace here. So if you click it again, it goes back to what we had before, and if you click it another time, it fits itself within the canvas space here. So let's go ahead and add some color to our background, and for that I'm going to go to Layer, New Layer, Geometry, Solid Color, and over here in my parameters panel, I'm just going to click on the color swatch there, and I am going to move this all the way down to something close to black but not quite black, so maybe somewhere there. And if you want to get the exact color that I'm using here, just take a note of the color name here, or the color code. So I'm using 1D, 1D, 1D. So let me just click on close, and we're done setting up our canvas. Now that we have our document set up, we need to go ahead and gather all the elements that we need. So if we should take a look at the movie poster here, we can see that we have a bunch of images in the background and in the foreground. So we need to get some images of our movie stars, and of course we'll be using our own images, as well as the font that they use in the poster is called ITC Machine Medium, and I think it's a paid font, don't quote me on that, but we can search. Let me just go here, ITC Machine Medium, and we can search for the font. Just in case it's not a free font, what you could do is search for free alternatives. So you could type the name and just type free alternatives, enter, and then you could just do your search to find fonts that look like that. Now you could also use whatever font you have installed on your machine, that is okay too. As for me, I'll be using a font that I already have installed that looks somewhat similar, and it's called Mr. Belvedere. So that's the font that I'll be using. In terms of the images, I already sourced some images here, and I will be sharing them in the description below if you want to use the same images as me. The very first image I have is this one here, and for the second image, let me just go ahead and copy that one and paste it here. This is the one that we'll be working with. So we have our two movie stars that we will be incorporating in our poster. Now as for the background images, what I use to find these images is pexels.com, which is a free website for stock images. So you could just go there and just search for images that you want, or utilize images that you already own. So let's jump back into Synfig and start working on the rest of the poster. What I'm going to do here, let me actually take a look on the poster here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the text as well as the different elements such as the rectangular bars that we see here. So that's what we'll be working out first, and we'll continue in the next video.